1941, Oklahoma State University celebrates its 50th anniversary with a Golden Jubilee celebration. B.B. Chapman was a history professor, and he and his students started collecting memorabilia to be placed in a time capsule. Yearbooks, blue books, personnel records, and bound record books full of OSU history were to be placed in a time capsule and reopened 50 years later. The most personal touches came straight from the hands of students, family members, faculty, and staff.
So all the other items were either related to the history of the institution or items that they collected about the institution. The Secrets of the Century was in a smaller metal box, and here people could write down things that they wanted people to read in 50 years. And so there's little notes, memos, some of them are almost letters on roughly 3x5 cards that people are recording for either specific individuals that they hope will be around in 50 years, or just kind of a general audience that they're looking forward to communicating with in 50 years. So all of these note cards were collected between December 13th and December 15th during the actual celebrations of the Jubilee in 1941. So during that 3-day period, they collected these note cards from wherever attended events, and then included dignitaries, people from the university, people from the community, former students and staff, faculty. So it was a kind of a eclectic group of people who wrote down these little notes then that could be deposited in this metal box, then was sealed up and placed in the larger time capsule.
Notes highlighting class schedules, family genealogy, and to friends who they hope to see in the future. Others wrote about hope in a time when it was needed the most.
Well, I have to remember that these ceremonies and activities are happening 1 week after Pearl Harbor. So a major event has occurred in our nation's history the week before. And so many of these cards and well wishes reflect, I think, the tenor of the times. We're at war, December 8th. Franklin Delano Roosevelt meets with Congress as a day which will live in infamy in his declaration of war against Japan at that point. And so that kind of weighs heavily on a lot of these little notes. But they include well wishes for their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, that they may be successful and happy, notes about what they did as students and seeing if students are still doing those kinds of activities in the future, notes about hope for the future, notes expressing some fear about the future, a lot of notes expressing patriotism, that the country will be strong, that within 50 years that people will have the liberties and rights that we still had in 1941 and 1990. These were open, but so there was a mix of these kinds of things.
To Carl P. Blackwell Jr. and Lucille Blackwell, dearest children, when A&M College has its centennial celebration and this box of Secrets of the Century is opened, I hope you'll be present and enjoy the turkey dinner, etc., as much as I'm doing tonight. You have both given me much joy, and I'm so glad to have had you all these years, sweethearts. You'll be almost 71, Carl Jr., and you'll be 66, Lucille, when you get this message written December 14th, 1941, at the 50th anniversary dinner. I hope your years have been happy and useful ones. With a heart full of love to you both, Mother.
As President of the University of Oklahoma in 1941, I hope the class of 1991 will see the realization of all the dreams President Henry G. Bennett and his colleagues have today for the Oklahoma A&M College. Armies win wars, but education keeps the peace. This and the hope for the future. Joseph A. Brandt.
Dear children and grandchildren, today, December 13th, 1941, I send my greetings to you 50 years later. At present, we are just before war with Germany and Japan. We will lick the whole bunch of them if we have to fight till you read this. J.N. Baker, Atoka, Oklahoma.
December 15th, 1941. To me, myself, and I. I wonder where I'll be in 1991. It makes me feel philosophical and just a little more serious than usual. A&M has done a great deal for me, and I think ever so much of it. So, on this flimsy little card, I'm making a promise to myself and to the college that I'm going to do something worthwhile with my life. Emma Lou Becker.
We have all the containers, so we have the box that the Secrets of the Century were contained in, and then we have all the little note cards in several boxes in Special Collections University Archives at the Golden Library. We'll begin the process of digitizing them this year. It may take us a little bit longer to do the transcripts for them, but we can at least have the digital content, a file, an image file, with some keywords like the person who wrote them, so people could look up individuals by name, and then see what their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents had said. These include former governors, other leaders, and then people who are from this community and still have family members left in this community. And so they're all arranged in alphabetical order, up in special collections. I think it really captures a moment in time, and to be able to read or listen to what people were thinking at that moment, I think is special. How often can we capture a moment in time like that? We're aware of what was going on in the big picture, in the world with the war beginning. But to hear individual voices expressing themselves on these little notes, and especially, I guess what struck me is the number of them that express hope. So even at a time, it was a great despair, and there was going to be considerable suffering that they knew was going to be happening, there was still hope for the future. And I think that's emblematic of how this institution, we know there will be service, some of it will be sacrifice, but there's always hope for a better tomorrow.